Alright guys, we're going to be starting in just a second, so if you are here chilling out with me, make sure to drop me a hello in the chat so I can say hello to you, and we'll be starting in just a moment. Hello guys, it is very bright because of my windows. The sun is really coming in today, so I'm sorry if my skin is blinding. I've been trying to fix the the lighting, but I guess it's just that time of day, so roll with it with me and we will get through it. Mr. Zoni, hello, how is it going? Good to see you. Burning Spirit Light, Greg's here, Berkeley's here, Maida's here, Moha's here. Awesome, good to see you guys. Welcome back. So if you guys are not part of the Telegram community, I did update you guys yesterday that the live stream will be pushed today. So if you are ever interested in getting updates on upcoming videos, live streams, or would like to connect to me and the community in kind of a closer container, then I definitely recommend joining the Telegram group chat. The link is in the description of all my videos. I don't know if it shows up on my live stream descriptions. I guess that is a little bit different, but you will see a link tree, like a little link that says link tree in my descriptions, and that has all of my links, whether you want to work with me, whether you want to find the Telegram group, whether you want to find the Facebook chat, whether you want to find my other channel, or maybe some things that I'm offering that are coming up. Those are the places that you can find those. So Stilios, how's it going? Jason's here. Awesome. Hello guys. So please let me know if you guys have any questions or anything, but all resources should be in the link tree. And I am so sorry again that I'm like, it is distracting. My skin is so blinding because of the sun. I hope it's not too bad on your guys' end. So today we're going to be talking about dangers, perceived dangers or warnings when it comes to lucid dreaming, because I get a lot of questions about that, honestly. And I know that we're pretty familiar with people talking about astral projection dangers, even though it's kind of in the same ballpark as this. So I wanted to talk about some of the warnings or the perceived dangers that you may experience within your lucid dreaming practice. I mean, there are a couple things that I would want to prepare you guys for if you've never had a lucid dream or an experience like that. So I think this is going to be a great video, especially if you are new to this practice. Astral projection, can you meet... So what do you mean, can you meet entity mistake? You can definitely meet entities in out-of-body experiences, for sure. You're basically just transferring your awareness to a different state of consciousness. It's kind of like when we do reality shifting and we are working on creating our desired reality in this reality. Since all possibilities always exist, there's always like mirroring realities that look pretty similar to this one, but there will be a few changes. Like, for example, you may be watching The Office in this reality, but in a mirroring reality, you could be watching The Simpsons, or you could be watching something on YouTube. So because every possibility already exists, that's kind of how mirroring realities work and alternate realities. And that's what happens when we have an out-of-body experience. We're shifting our consciousness to an alternate reality. Speaking of shifting our consciousness, reality shifting. If you guys are interested in diving more into reality shifting with me, I am offering a 4-week reality shifting mastermind, and it's called The Shift, and it's going to be super cool. Pretty much I'm going to walk you guys throughout 4 weeks on how to shift your reality, how to step into your desires, and how to transform your identity, your circumstances, and your physical reality to match the reality that you know is meant for you. And this really ties into the quantum physics and neuroscience practices that I'll be talking to you guys about. And this is something that has been discussed by some of the wealthiest minds and philosophers like Napoleon Hill, Neville Goddard, Ernest Nightingale, and so many more. So I'm so excited to guide you through that. There will be weekly classes. We're going to have a dream circle. There's going to be a little dream, or I was going to say dream circle again, a little Telegram group coaching chat where I'll actually be able to coach everybody in there and we'll stay in contact. We're going to have weekly challenges. There's going to be journal prompts and techniques, and I'll be showing you guys some of my favorite ways that I use to shift my consciousness and shift my reality. We're going to be having guided meditations. There's going to be a holotropic breathwork session. So it's really going to be an all-in-one package for that 4 weeks. So right now the price is just $222. It just went up from the previous price. So for the next 2 weeks it's going to be at $222, and then it's going to jump up to $333. So if you guys are interested in joining, please send me a message, shoot me an email, and I will get you the information, and I would love to have you there with us. So, oh, and by the way guys, if we get to 1,000 subscribers on my new channel by July 1st, then I'll be doing a giveaway on this channel. So my new channel is, tons of people have been asking me to continue making binaural beats, sleep music, and I did have a little pause when I was making them because I was caring for my grandmother in hospice, and then I kind of stopped creating most content on my channel for those months, and I decided to just create a whole new YouTube channel for my sleep music. So if you are interested in binaural beats, sleep music, then I would definitely recommend checking out the new channel called the Lucid Mystics Sleep Music. It is also featured on my main channel if you scroll down. So just in case there was anyone new here that didn't know about these updates, and by the way, if you are new here, welcome to the Dream Fam. Let me know that you're here. Okay, it's 3 in the morning. Wow. Yeah, it's 5:19 p.m. right here, over here. So, Burning Spirit, it's all about the state of consciousness, and we're going to talk a little bit about that because it also relates to lucid dreaming. There are different, and what we kind of experience in these states is really based off our emotional state, and we can experience projections of our emotional state. So maybe if you go into an out-of-body experience when you're going through a deep state of depression or something, or anxiety, then whatever you're feeling on an emotional level is going to reflect in your experience, not because it's something that's there that's trying to attack you, but because we're experiencing perceived projection from our mind of what we're feeling inside. And this is the same with waking life. If you wake up and you just feel it's going to be a bad day, and you confirm to yourself that it's going to be a bad day, then what do we experience? We find a lot of resistance in that day because that's what our assumptions are. That's kind of the emotional state we're carrying. And once we realize that we're living in a reality that is all energetic, it's all emotional, then we learn that we can control or influence what we experience based on, taking control of the energetics or the emotional state that we feel inside. So, but it's all about what's going on within, but you're completely safe in an out-of-body experience, just like you're safe in a lucid dream. No, even when I started my out-of-body experience journey, I was definitely a little bit nervous because it definitely has a little more like otherworldly, kind of like alien feel to it. I don't know how to explain it, but it definitely feels different than a lucid dream. And I was definitely nervous, but I never experienced anything that I would even consider scary. I mean, it has like an eerie experience. Like when I first was start practicing projecting out of my body, I would get out of my body, but I'd kind of be stuck in my room. I would hear like people talking to me kind of like on a radio or like, but it wasn't scary. And it was just like, I didn't experience anything that was like scary. I think it was just maybe the lighting in some areas of your out-of-body experiences. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see where you're going. It can be very dark, but it's honestly the reason why it felt scary was just because it was such a new experience. But there's nothing that can harm you in those states, even though I know that that's a warning a lot of people give, that can happen. But I promise you that is probably based on some sort of like religious or a limiting belief in whatever we believe to be true. Like that person that affirms like, no, you will have a bad experience if you try to astral project, I guarantee you they would have a horrible experience because that's what their brain is programmed to believe, and we can only see what we believe to be true or we are programmed to believe to be true. So in this video, I wanted to get into the warnings or the dangers that you may experience in a lucid dream. And I want to talk about like the actual warnings, not any BS that's going to waste your time. These are all things that I truly believe are warnings that you need to know about before you have a lucid dream. So Of course. Yeah, it is, Kevin. Totally. Yeah, I haven't seen that in forever. So, and of course, if you guys have any questions, please leave them and I'll try to get to them all. But I just have 4 main warnings here. And they may surprise you because I wanted to provide you guys with actual warnings that I feel like you should know before you jump into this practice. Let's see. All right, so the first warning that I have for you guys is when you are dreaming, when you are lucid dreaming, you are entering the subconscious mind. You are entering the inner world of your mind. And if you are not prepared for this, if you don't really grasp that you are entering the inner realm of yourself, then you can be very surprised. There are people that have said, I'm too scared to dream, or lucid dream, I'm too scared of what I'm going to find in there. You know, and it's that belief that there is something within them that they are just too scared or nervous to come in contact with. So I want to say that when you're lucid dreaming, you're entering your subconscious mind, and this will allow you to see everything that has been suppressed. So if you are not prepared for that, it's good to know that before you go in, because you're entering an inner realm of your mind, and anything that you have suppressed, anything that you have denied, anything that you have disowned, anything that you've done or know about that no one else knows about, something, you know, anything that creates embarrassment or guilt or shame or even joy and desires that you haven't told anybody, right? It's not just one side of the spectrum. All of that is shown. All of that is shown to you. You will have dreams that will make you feel uncomfortable because maybe it will highlight an insecurity. Maybe it will highlight one of your biggest desires that you've never told anybody, but you don't think that is possible or something. Anything that you have suppressed or put under the surface is brought up in the lucid dream. You cannot hide anything from your subconscious within the lucid dream, and I think it's extremely important to know this when you're going into it, that you are connecting with deeper parts of yourself that maybe you haven't even met before, right? But that's part of the work. It's about owning who you are. It's about discovering who you are, and it's about looking at maybe what needs more attention that maybe hasn't had the attention that it deserves. So some of you may be familiar with shadow work. We talk a lot about this in my containers in the classes that I run, and I'm doing a 11-part masterclass series right now where each class is something different related to dreaming and lucid dreaming, and we implement these practices and we go on a whole journey for, you know, a year together. And one of the last classes I did, it was a couple classes ago, was called Dreams of the Shadow, and it was all about shadow work and learning about what the shadow is. Now, everybody has a shadow, and Carl Jung talks about this a lot as well. We have a shadow, which is basically everything within ourselves that we have denied, we have suppressed, we have disowned, and that we have hidden from the world. But this is not just like traits that we don't really like about ourselves, or maybe situations or things that happen that we don't like to talk about, but this is also amazing parts of yourself that you haven't owned yet. Maybe you want to be more creative and you are a creative person, but you're always saying that your creations are never good enough, or you don't know enough about art to be an artist. You are putting such a beautiful aspect of yourself into your shadow by denying it, saying it's not good enough. You're disowning that part of yourself for what it is. It's important to always want to grow our skills, but denying where you are now is putting that aspect in your shadow, and it is causing some issues underneath the surface, because if you have a belief that your artistic ability isn't good enough and you're not going to get anywhere as an artist, now your creativity has been put into your shadow, and your brain will constantly work to keep it there. Once we have taught ourselves to suppress something, it's hard to bring it to light unless we really work with the shadow, right? For example, like if you have had like angry outspurts and you've had like an anger issue, for example, it's going to be really hard to just be a happy person unless you look at what created that suppressed anger in the first place, right? Before we release things and before we own them and before we can transform our lives, we have to look at what is underneath the surface and show it awareness. And things are created in the shadow because we aren't aware of them. We don't want to be aware of them. We don't want to look at it. We want to forget about it. You know, maybe it's just a trait you're trying to forget about. Maybe it's a situation. Maybe you just think you're not good enough in something, and we're constantly denying it, right? And where does this come out? In our dreams. Everything we've been trying to not look at and suppress starts to now show up in our dreams because we're entering our subconscious mind, and we cannot hide anything from our subconscious mind. And so the beautiful thing with shadow work, it's looking at these aspects of yourself with non-judgment, just seeing that this is what it is, and it doesn't mean you're anything less. It doesn't mean that you aren't loved or you're not enough. We're human beings. All of us have things that we're insecure about, or maybe we're guilty about or shameful about. And the hardest part with shadow work is being able to face those things head on and own them without judgment and accept them for what they are. That's really what shadow work is. That's why shadow work is so hard for so many people, because people don't want to look at their shit. They don't want to look at things that they have spent so many years trying to hide and push down, right? It's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. Hello, George, how's it going? And especially if you do like shadow work, mirror work, imagine all of the things that you've never told a soul that you don't even like to say out loud. Maybe it's something you do, maybe it's something you've done, maybe it's like a way that you think or whatever. And like you haven't told anyone this, right? Going into the mirror, looking at yourself in the eyes and speaking it out loud and owning it. That's uncomfortable, right? But that's shadow work. And you don't always have to do it in a mirror, but it's really powerful, like looking, at someone in the eyes, even if it's yourself, looking at someone in the eyes and speaking it out. That is powerful. That is how we can do shadow work, is by bringing what has been in our shadow, what has been suppressed, into the light, right? And it doesn't mean that this is exactly how we want it. It's just accepting you for who you are, accepting what has happened for how it is, and being able to release the attachment that it has had on you. If you went through something that makes you feel embarrassed, or it creates shame, or it creates guilt, it has a lot more power over you if you try to hide it and suppress it. But if you bring that out, if you're willing to look at it face to face, if you're willing to own it and accept it for what it is without judgment, it has no power over you. And so that's the power of shadow work, is bringing up these things, even if it's from childhood. Oh my gosh, I've been doing so much inner child work lately, especially the past year, and it has been very, very uncomfortable. But it's released its power that it's had over me. And this is what lucid dreaming can do. It can show you what's in your shadow. It can show you what has been suppressed or denied or disowned on some level. It can show you your joy, your burning desires, but it can also show you your guilt and your shame. And this is what's so beautiful with lucid dreaming. But if you're not prepared for it, then it can be a little bit uncomfortable, right? And so that is one of the warnings that I have, is you're entering your subconscious mind. So it's best to prepare and be open with anything that wants to come to you. And once your subconscious mind knows that you're listening, then it's going to start giving you more profound pieces of information to work with. When you first start lucid dreaming, you may just have like these random dreams that you really don't think make too much sense, or, they just kind of seem like anomalies. But then the more that your subconscious knows that you're listening, then it's going to start showing you things that it needs to be, that need to be integrated. And what integration really means is being able to totally just like embody the energy, embody the lesson or the healing from it, and release its power over you. And for nightmares, for example, if you're having a nightmare, that means that there's some sort of unintegrated energy from an experience you went through, from like an emotional or traumatic experience. It could be anything. It could even be something that you've just been confused about and you haven't had an answer to. When we're sleeping, our brain is going through all the information that's in there. It's trying to piece together things that haven't made sense for you. It's trying to release trauma for from certain situations. And so while we're sleeping, our brain is doing a ton of work, right? And just like the body can heal itself, that's what dreaming does to the psyche. dreaming helps the psyche heal itself and clear out things that are no longer good for us, right? And so sometimes we can become conscious of that processing, the process of that processing of information, if that makes sense. So when we have a nightmare, it's because the brain has been working through something. So if you're having nightmares, it's actually a sign of a healing mind. It's not something that's bad. It's actually very, very healing and good to know, that if you're having nightmares, it means that something is being processed and released and your brain is working. That's a great thing, right? So when we're having nightmares, sometimes it can come in the form of something really terrifying, or there's a lot of fear, or we're running away from something. But the subconscious works on a symbolic level. So where have we suppressed fear? Where have we suppressed shame? What could we be running away from, right? And the dream uses fear, an emotion of fear, because what does fear do? It makes us very alert. If you were like really in fear right now, you would be completely aware of your surroundings. You would be super, super alert. And that's what the brain is wanting you to do. It's wanting you to become aware of what's going on so it can finish integrating its energy. If you wake yourself up from a nightmare, for example, you basically interrupted a therapy session that was going on in your mind, right? And if we didn't finish the therapy session, okay, see you next week, see you later, we'll continue right where we left off. And that's how we can have recurring nightmares. If we refuse to listen to what the subconscious mind is trying to show us, it could keep bringing it to our attention over and over and over, because that's so much energy the subconscious is using to process that information, right, that it doesn't need to. Like, once it's already been through that process, all it needs is our awareness to look at it, to accept it, and then sometimes that's all it needs to stop recurring nightmares. So going into the subconscious mind via lucid dreaming will show you what has been suppressed, but it will also show you beautiful things about who you are, maybe talents or skills or gifts or abilities that you didn't even think of or didn't know you have, or maybe you forgot about something that you really loved to do as a child and you dreamt about it, right? So it can truly bring us to life by paying attention to our dreams. But in order to get to that place, we have to accept all information. We have to accept all experiences, and we can't label one as good and one as bad, because then we're just adding to our shadow. And again, the shadow is just full of everything that's not illuminated, right? And so how can we bring things out of our shadow and integrate the energy? By illuminating them with awareness. So nightmares definitely tie in with shadow work, and that is the first kind of like warning that I'd give you guys, is if if you're not prepared to see a deeper part of yourself, then that is something that I would take into consideration. But it's nothing to be scared of. It's something to really be excited about, because all of your dreaming experiences are leading to a higher level of transformation. There's no such thing as just a bad nightmare or a bad experience. It's all leading to some sort of level of transformation, and that's one of your brain's goals, right? Is to work through information, to learn, to expand, and to heal itself. That's why the body can heal itself automatically. That's why the psyche can heal itself automatically through REM. We're meant to heal. We're meant to go through this process. So there's nothing wrong with the types of dreams you're having. They're coming to you for a reason at the exact time, and you will never be shown more than your subconscious mind knows that you're ready for. And this is also why, if you have a lucid dream and you maybe want to have a certain experience, you'll notice sometimes the subconscious can block you from having that experience. You may run into a door that's locked, or you may run into a door that says like, warning, don't go further, whatever it is. The subconscious mind has a great way of conveying to us if we're ready for something or not. But just know that if you see something within the dream, it means that you are ready for it. It means that it has been being processed and you're ready to integrate the experience. And again, writing down your dreams is a practice of integration. I know sometimes it can be uncomfortable to write nightmares down, for example, but if you're not writing down your nightmares, then there's a chance they're just going to recur, because there's no way you're going to remember the information and the symbolism from a nightmare you didn't write down, right? So even just taking the time out of your day to write down your nightmare or your dream once you wake up, and just kind of look at the symbolism. What emotions are present? Who is present in this experience? If I was a director of a movie and this was the script, what would this symbolically represent to me? Just taking that little bit of awareness that you can give it in the morning, for example, when you write your dreams down, a lot of the time is enough to integrate the experience. So definitely recommend accepting all your experiences within dream with non-judgment. Nightmares usually means dreams are... Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, my first lucid dreams were nightmares, you know, and I'm sure that's the case with a lot of people. We'll have a nightmare and then we'll try to wake ourselves up, right? So on some level we know that we're dreaming. So a lot of our lucid dreams actually start as children in the form of nightmares, trying to wake ourselves up, right? So a lot of us do have experience with lucidity, and it comes natural. It's a natural part of our biology. We just have to train ourselves to keep that awareness going or rebuild it as adults. And the first thing to do with dream work, if you're ready to jump back in or lucid dreaming interests you, is to really just pay attention to your dreams, because the subconscious wants to create a connection with you. There is so much power from lucid dreaming. There is so much beauty and transformation that could be had just by observing our dreams. Now imagine actually observing the dream within the dream consciously, and being able to touch things and smell things and taste things and move around and communicate with dream characters and use the placebo effect to physically heal your body, and use affirmations directly to the subconscious mind to reprogram your brain for something that you've been tirelessly trying to do in waking life. The reason why it's so much easier in the lucid dream, by the way, is because the conscious mind is turned off and we're inside the subconscious mind. So affirmations and intentions and new beliefs and all of that goes directly to the subconscious mind. So it's really easy to do a lot of deep inner work for your waking life through dreaming. So this is definitely a practice that I recommend, and it all comes down to awareness, right? We need to be aware to get lucid in our dreams, and we also need to be aware of our dreams before we start having more dreams. Again, the subconscious mind just wants to know that you're listening. It wants to know that it is being heard, and this is why some dreams or nightmares can recur, because if the subconscious mind doesn't think that it's being heard, then it doesn't think that it's gotten the information to you, and so it will continue to try to do it over and over. And sometimes all it takes, again, is writing it down, saying, okay, I see you. I see you. I see what you're trying to tell me. Sometimes that is all you need to do. It is like just your awareness will do so much of this work for you. So the next warning that I wanted to talk to you guys about was harming dream characters and how that can actually do you more harm. Now, I'm sure most of you, hopefully, don't really go around in your dreams harming your dream characters. I really, really hope that you don't, because as we've talked about, everything within your dreams is an aspect of you. Everything is an archetype of within yourself. Everything is kind of like an internal archetype, specifically dream characters. Every dream, like I've told you guys, everything in your dreams have a place for a reason. Every single thing you're experiencing in your dreams is there for a reason. The people that are there, the emotions they have, the theme of what's happening in your dreams, where you are, what you're wearing, every single thing has symbolism within your dreams. And if you are harming dream characters, for example, you are consciously harming archetypes within yourself. So for example, if you come across a dream character, right, and you just have an instinct for some reason to harm them in some way, symbolically, you are harming whatever that internal archetype represents, number one, which if it was your creativity, for example, you're harming your creativity. So maybe you wake up and, I don't really feel creative today. I wonder why. Oh, it's because you were beaten down on your creative internal archetype within your dream, and now it doesn't feel like coming out. If we see these as parts of ourselves being played out in real time, we can respect them like real people. We can respect them as the energies, as the beings that they are, right? And I would definitely, if you are harming your dream characters for whatever reason, I recommend just stop doing that. There's no reason to do that unless you're experiencing some sort of like power trip, which I know some people do. Like there's some, I won't obviously give names, but there's a couple like lucid dreaming creators, for example, like on YouTube and all of that, that I used to like talk to. And a lot of them would talk about becoming gods in your lucid dream and dominating and gaining control and like just becoming this like this overlord, like, and that is not the energy you want to bring into your dreams, because you are you're being accepted into the dream world by your subconscious mind. You don't control the dream. You don't rule it. You're not the god in your lucid dreams. You are a guest. You are getting to experience your subconscious mind on another level, and lucid dreaming is not about dominating and control at all. And if that is what you're using it for, then there's something you really need to heal and work on regarding that like need for power within your dream state, because this is supposed to activate play and curiosity. It's not supposed to help you like control people in your dreams and control situations and like manipulate them. That's like not an energy that I'd recommend bringing into your dream state. And that's why a lot of the time I don't resonate with a lot of other lucid dream creators' content, because it's always about how you can make love with anybody in your dreams, or how you can control it and get whatever you want. This is not what that's not what I vibe with. I want to show you guys a new way to enter into your dream state. I want to show you a way that you can learn from it, that you can create a connection with these parts of yourself, and how you can actually use this state to benefit your waking reality. And I definitely believe in weaving these two states together, your dream state and your physical life. They should be something that are used hand in hand, right? The dream state should be something that shows us where we may have been going unconscious, where we may have not been as courageous as we should have been in a situation. It's a guide. Our dream state is a guide, and there is no reason we should be trying to dominate it in any way, right? We can make the request to get lucid, but whether we get lucid or not, right, it's kind of up to the dream space itself and the subconscious mind. But when it comes to interacting with dream characters, I would just recommend coming about it in a way that invokes curiosity, that allows you to learn something new about yourself. Because if you're going into it trying to control things, it's almost like you're embodying the idea that you've already learned everything that you need to learn, and now it's time for you to show other people how they need to behave, or show the dream state how it needs to work, instead of coming in there as a teacher and a student and being willing to see parts of yourself that maybe you didn't even know about, right? I think it's a practice of all just curiosity. And if you're invoking chaos within your dreams, you may experience more chaos in waking life, and you also may just experience more chaotic dreams in general. You know what I'm saying? So how we show up in the dream state really is a reflection of who we are as a person. Again, we're in the subconscious mind. We are accessing repressed information, repressed parts of ourselves. So how we behave kind of in the lucid dream really shows us as well kind of where we are at, and kind of maybe what our goals are. And also don't forget that the brain cannot tell the difference between something that we are imagining, something that's actually happening, or something we're dreaming about. It's all the same to the brain. So if you have a lucid dream where you're actually unaliving someone intentionally, your brain is gonna be stuck with that memory and experience, and it's going to think that it is real. You can change the neurochemistry in your brain by what you do in your dreams. What kind of life do you want to create for yourself? It's creating so much more resistance, and it's bringing up so much more for you to work through if you came into the dream with that energy. So I would definitely I really think this is a practice to just get curious and to see what you can learn, because I promise you, that's all I do still in my lucid dreams. There's always playful, adventure-y parts in my dream, adventurous parts within my dreaming experiences, but when I get lucid, I have a goal. I have something I want to ask a dream character. I have something that I want to work with the subconscious mind on. It's always kind of self-help based. That's even how my reading is. I don't even read fictional books. Every single book on my bookshelf is all some sort of self-help, something regarding information that I can apply. And I'm just very much that type of person. And also, what other practice allows you to see and communicate face to face with your subconscious mind and all of your internal archetypes, and actually create a stronger connection to your creativity, and practice skills and wake up with improved skill, and use the placebo effect to get rid of those horrible migraines that you've been experiencing in waking life? Lucid dreaming is like a cheat code, and no one told me about this. I just came across it through spontaneous experience. And it's like, why is no one really talking about this? Because people don't know the true power that lies within our consciousness, that lies within these states. So definitely, every time you have a lucid dream, see it as an initiation. See it as a world that you have literally been initiated into. How do you want to spend that time? What do you want to spend that time doing? It is something that's so precious and so beautiful. And I really want to expand your minds when it comes to what's possible through lucid dreaming. Because when I started actually seeing stuff online about lucid dreaming, and again, I kind of learned how to lucid dream before there was like any information on it, or like YouTube channels that had a lot of information on it, like when I started consciously practicing it. And all that I really saw was like how to be intimate with someone within your lucid dream, or how to control your dream, or how to fly. It was like cool stuff, but like so surface level in my opinion. And I didn't see anything on like physical healing, emotional healing, psychological healing, like practicing skills and like creating a stronger connection with yourself. I never really saw that information on lucid dreaming. So I was like, okay, I know what my channel is going to be about. I want people to have the information that I wish that I had, because going about it in this way instead of just looking for like instant gratification, but really seeing how you can transform your entire life, reprogram your brain, and literally optimize who you are so you can match your desires in this physical reality, that seemed way more important to me than the other stuff that I was seeing online. So yeah, that's kind of that's really where I want to take my channel, is to show you ideas that maybe you haven't thought about before, of things that you could explore within the lucid dream, something to get you excited, something to really help you tap into your desires and know that you're meant to experience everything that you desire in this reality, and using your dream state to support that. You know, I really want you guys to have that type of information, because that's what I want and that's what I look for, and I don't really see it around too much. And I know that like Charlie Morley, for example, he's definitely someone that I follow, because he's a Buddhist and he's also a lucid dreaming teacher, and just his philosophy with dreaming is something I'm really aligned with. And so I hope to see more lucid dreaming creators kind of talking about this stuff. But I get why more people may be more interested, you know, in instant gratification practices, or why more people might click on your video if you tell them that they can be intimate with anyone in their lucid dream, and here's how, you know. Like, I see why they're making content, but I want to create transformation in my life. I want to create transformation in your life. I want to inspire you to dream bigger, to dream lucidly, and to keep creating the impossible in your own life. And I really believe lucid dreaming is the gateway to that, because of the access we have to our subconscious mind, because of the access we have to deep parts of ourselves that we don't really get to interact with in waking life, and we don't even know is there a lot of the time. Like, it just like removes the wool from our eyes, and we can see things for how they really are and what they could be, and like, it's just so beautiful. And maybe I'm a little over the top with this, but lucid dreaming really activates like my creativity, like my inner child gets super excited when I talk about dreams. And I think that's how it should be. I think we should have a practice that really lights us up in that way, right? And when we think about all of the possibilities, it really does do that for me. Okay, so we talked about entering your subconscious mind will allow you to actually see what's suppressed. Harming dream characters could be doing you more harm. The next one is lucid dreaming opens a gateway for out-of-body experiences and sleep paralysis. So if you are not prepared, this could be something that is a little shocking. Especially when I started like inducing lucid dreams consciously. I didn't really know a ton about out-of-body experiences, but I would have these little instances where I would be like, I don't know if you guys have had this too, like once I really started to practice lucid dreaming a lot and learn a lot about it, I would just be like laying on the couch with my eyes closed, and like a dream would almost start, if that's happened to you before. Like, I remember this one time I was laying on the couch and I was just kind of like dozing off. I thought that I was like in the hypnagogic state or something, and all of a sudden, like, there's music playing, like really pretty like instrumental music, like a movie was starting or something, and like my view was above these snowy mountains and like these ice-capped kind of like lakes, and it's like a very cinematic shot, literally almost like a movie starting, and there's music playing, and then like I saw this very vivid visual of just my awareness up there, and I like opened my eyes so fast and sat up because I was like, what the hell was that? Like, I didn't think that I was in like a deep state at all. Like, I was just closing my eyes, relaxing, and then all of a sudden, bam, like I'm above the mountains, very vivid. I had no idea what was happening. And these are the kind of things that you can start to experience once you start to get into dreaming. You might have a spontaneous sleep paralysis experience. You might think that you're inducing a lucid dream and you'll feel your legs slip out of your body or something odd. And it's better to know about this before, because if you didn't know about this before and you're just like going in fresh, like no idea what's gonna happen, you might be a little bit freaked out, because there are some weird things that you can experience, and that is definitely one that I want to note, is that you may experience extremely weird sensations that you never have experienced before. You may have your first like waking sleep paralysis experience, or you may be like, oh, I'm close to a lucid dream, and then just like pop out of your body. You can see how it'd be a little nuts not expecting these things and not really knowing what's going on. So once you start to become conscious of your dreams and you're writing your dreams down, you'll notice that your dreams become more vivid and clear, and the more you work with them, you're going to build more awareness in your dreams, which will eventually lead to lucid dreaming. And then once you start, and again, lucid dreaming happens during REM, so now if you're like waking yourself up to do techniques during REM sleep, then you can maybe accidentally experience sleep paralysis. And it's not anything bad at all. I definitely recommend learning to induce it, because it's a super cool experience. It's completely safe. We experience sleep paralysis, or it's called REM atonia, like REM atonia, 5 to 6 times a night naturally anyways. It's a natural part of our biology. But if you're not prepared for it, and you're like just trying to do like a lucid dream technique or something, then it is a possibility that it may happen. Now, sleep paralysis is nothing to be scared of. Again, our body goes through this process every single night, and it protects us from acting out our dreams. So we should actually thank sleep paralysis, because without it, we might wake up with broken knuckles or something. You know, it regulates the system while we're dreaming, and it's something that our body definitely needs to stay safe. And REM sleep is something that helps us integrate and process trauma. So all of these states that we experience are used for something, right? It's not just for nothing. So sleep paralysis, though, I know it can feel a little bit scary at first. I've never classified it as scary, but I see how it can be. For me, I just think that I'm so fascinated with psychology and the mind and sleep and how everything works that, like, once I started to learn how to induce it, I'm like, oh, you know, there's like the tingling, there's the vibrations, now the next phase is this. And I just started to actually learn how sleep paralysis worked, the phases that I would go through, what my brain's going through, and it made me feel really excited and comfortable to experience it. So if you're nervous regarding sleep paralysis, I would just learn about it, but I wouldn't learn from the people that are like, oh, you're being possessed, or this happened, because that's a belief based off fear, and scientifically we have seen that that's not true, and their basis for that is, oh, you feel heaviness on the chest. Okay, well, it's been shown that when we are in sleep paralysis, we don't need as much air when we are sleeping, so our diaphragm naturally collapses, so it can feel like a slight pressure on the chest. So everything that happens within sleep paralysis has been scientifically studied and proven for what it actually is. You are completely safe in sleep paralysis. You are experiencing a shift in consciousness. You are literally watching your body fall asleep. Of course, it's not going to act the same way that it does when you're physically awake. Of course, we're going to observe the body doing something that we're not used to seeing, because usually we are unconscious at that time, right? But what's cool about this, so it's not necessarily even a warning, it's cool that if you learn how to lucid dream, you're technically learning more skills than one. Like when I do my lucid dreaming coaching, for example, I do lucid dreaming mentorships, I do out-of-body experience mentorships, business development mentorships, and so I'm talking to a lot of people all the time about these experiences. And from all of the people that I've worked with, the people that just dedicate to lucid dreaming and learn to create a deeper connection with their lucid dream and their dreams, end up having spontaneous out-of-body experiences. And then that opens a whole other realm of practices that they could do. And that's something that I always tell people. Once you start getting into dream work and you start working with your dreams, there are chances that you will be able to open the realm to out-of-body experiences as well, and cut out half the work that it would take to learn how to do that, just if you came into this clear-minded and just started with that, so these are all technically benefits, but depending on your level of fear or how you perceive them, I can see how you'd feel a little bit nervous before you dove into this. Let me see. So I definitely believe that you can, Peter, have like group lucid dreams. I don't think it would be necessarily how we expect it to be. I believe shared experiences are more for out-of-body experiences, because lucid dreams, we're traveling within our own consciousness. It's not being projected outward like with an out-of-body experience. But I do believe that we can influence each other's dreams and lucid dreams as well. I had a friend last year where we did this a lot. We almost every night we would think of an image or something and imagine sending it to the person, and then we would wake up and talk about our dreams and review kind of if we were able to influence each other's dreams. And so I think that also lucid dreaming is a practice that you should definitely talk to certain trusted friends about, run your own experiments. I think it's something that's really beautiful that can bring all of us dreamers together, and it's just nice to also have like an accountability buddy for this kind of practice. Last year I also had, it was the same friend, we would start meditating at the same time to see if like we would wake up at like 4 a.m. We'd tell each other, okay, I'm gonna set my alarm for this time, I'm gonna wake up, and then I'm gonna meditate and try to find you in consciousness, kind of thing. So we would, and we had some weird experiences. So I definitely believe it's possible to create a connection with someone, but it might not look like the way that we believe, like, having a shared lucid dream and it's literally like a VR experience. It may not be like that for, with another person, but lucid dreaming is the most VR, the most vivid virtual reality game you'll ever play, but as far as interacting with other people within these states, it may look a little bit different than what we expect. Let's see. Another word thing, I usually feel that I am just a dreamer, totally without an ego when lucid. That part of our brain is actually kind of shut off, the ego part of our brain, and that's why it's easier to make these deeper connections with parts of ourselves. Of course, there is a piece of the conscious mind that's awake, because that's what allows us to rationalize, to use our critical thinking, but yeah, the 3D kind of conscious ego aspect of us is almost completely turned off within the lucid dream. So I think if you notice, like, I guess that's a great way to think of it. So while our ego is like in full action in the waking state, we're more likely to have limiting beliefs or fears or something come up. But in the lucid dream, you don't really fear too much. You really just believe that all is possible, at least for me and kind of the people I've experienced. Of course, people can be a little bit like nervous with flying and stuff, but you're a lot more courageous and like creative, and just like, you just show up in a different way within the lucid dream state when that kind of ego part of your mind is suppressed. And so I believe that the dream is really just showing us our truth, like who we truly are underneath all of our bullshit, underneath all of our wounds and our limiting beliefs and kind of everything we've been programmed to have or be in our waking life. So I think it's kind of beautiful to observe our dream self, because it's like, oh, this is like the pure playful form of myself without any of the program that I have kind of adapted in waking reality. So again, it's all about experimentation, just like exploration, creativity, and really just learning to live from a childlike place. I think that's really, really important, because as adults we've really forgot how to have fun. And I believe that dreaming really can show us what we truly desire to do, how we can do that now and how we can create fulfillment and joy with where we are now. Like dreaming, I could talk about it. I could write a whole book, just like bullet points of all of the benefits that I have discovered through dreaming. Like, oh yeah. What about anxiety? Can lucid dreaming get rid of anxiety? Yeah. So, I had the worst anxiety that you would ever believe. I had a lot of depression growing up, but one thing that was really horrible was my anxiety. Not even just social anxiety, but like constant panic attacks probably 3 or 4 times a day. Really bad panic attacks. Ones where I couldn't move, I couldn't stop my mind. I was getting all these like intrusive, like harmful kind of thoughts, you know, like really, really, really bad. And nothing was ever really done. Like I tried telling my family about it, but of course people that don't have anxiety or something, it's like, oh, you're delusional, oh, you're fine, oh, get over it kind of thing. And so it was something I just had to kind of deal with. I wasn't allowed to get anxiety medication or anything because to other people, you know, in my family group, it was kind of like something that was all in my head, or I was kind of doing it for attention. And that stuck with me because then it made me feel shame for feeling this like these spontaneous panic attacks that I had no control over. I couldn't talk to people. I couldn't, like, it was so bad, you guys. I cannot even begin to tell you how bad my anxiety was. The only thing that I changed was doing dream work, and I got into more spiritual practices. That's literally all that I did. And so I promise you, lucid dreaming can reprogram your brain. It can reprogram your brain to make you a happier person, to make you a calmer person, to make you more creative, to make you more social, to help you hone in on skills that maybe you can't practice in waking life as easily. For example, to get kind of over my social anxiety, I've always wanted to give like a talk, like a TED talk, or like a talk on like Mind Valley or something. And I've rehearsed it in my brain so many times, like giving a lucid dreaming talk. And I would even have dreams about giving a talk because I thought about it so much. I'd imagine, you know, with microphone, like going up, talking about my story, and just like blowing people's minds with dreaming and lucid dreaming. And because a huge block was social anxiety, like I couldn't even call to order a pizza, you know, like, how am I going to stand on stage for like thousands of people? I decided, you know, let's see if I can work on this within the dream state. And I would just manifest huge crowds of people, you know, and that's what's cool about the lucid dream state. You can create any scenario to help you work on a fear. Oh, and fears and phobias, working on that in lucid dream, it will change everything, by the way, because even with stage fright and stuff, your brain does not know you are dreaming. Your brain thinks that you are actually having that experience. So if you are interacting with a fear head on and you don't feel fear in your body because you know it's a dream but your brain doesn't, your brain is going to think that you're not as scared of it, and it's going to start to reprogram the brain to be more comfortable with it. It's pretty much like exposure therapy. You know how you're really terrified of something and you interact with it a little bit, piece at a time, right? Like little bits to kind of, because your brain can't stay in a constant state of fight or flight or anxiety consistently. So when you consistently kind of interact with your fear, eventually the anxiety goes down, and that's kind of what reprograms the brain. It's kind of the same way, you know, within the lucid dream state, except the chemicals that create stress responses are turned off or highly suppressed when we're dreaming. So even if we're interacting with our fear, we know we are in a safe place. We can feel it. We can feel the difference. We know that we're not in danger. So it is such a powerful practice to work on your anxiety and to work on a fear or a phobia, maybe develop a skill, or maybe, you know, like practice something that you've never practiced and tried before. You know, like this is all about play. This is all about curiosity, and this is all about finding out who you truly are so you can live the life that you know that you deserve to live. The dream state really, really shows us sometimes, you know, things that maybe we're too scared to own that could be possible. Maybe something sounds so good to be true that we can't even imagine it for our lives, right? But what if we have a dream about it? We see it in action. We see the feelings that we have. We can now visualize that reality. maybe that's what shifts our goals. Maybe that's what shifts our actions in waking life. You know, there's so many layers to this. And that's why I really say that lucid dreaming is really like dream therapy. Like, honestly, the work that I do, it's not as much helping people learn how to lucid dream, but it's showing them how to use those states to explore themselves. Of course I have clients that come to me who have never had a lucid dream before, and you want to learn how to work, you know, with those dreams. But most of the time, almost all the time, it's because there's a deeper desire behind that. Because I want to heal this part of myself, or because I really want to work on my anxiety, or because I want to get out of fear or lack and I want to do this with my life. It could be anything. But there's always something that's pushing people to grow through dreaming, and that's really what I focus on in my work. Of course, we're going to talk about how to have a dream journal, how to lucid dream consistently, different techniques that you can use, how to have out-of-body experiences. But what's your desire behind that? How do you want to use this to change and transform your life? Let's go there, you know? That's my passion, not even just lucid dreaming, but helping bring your dreams to life, like your actual dreams, your desires to life through dream practices, through certain shifts that you can make throughout the day. Again, I'm not just a lucid dream coach. I do a lot of spiritual development work, business development work, and I think it all ties beautifully together because it's all about expansion and growth and learning and creating, you know? And so I find that most people have, you know, a deeper desire when it comes to lucid dreaming, even if it's to get rid of a fear or phobia. Hardly do I run into anybody who just wants to dream for the hell of it. Hardly do I come across someone who says that. So I'm telling you, like, we are meant to tap into our desires, and our dreams highlight that. Our dreams highlight what's possible for us. So the last, one of the last warnings I have for you guys. Warning, 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 warning. Your perception on reality and yourself may be challenged. So if you are not prepared for that, watch out, okay? Now, this is something that's really beautiful because I think we are all meant to learn. I think we are meant to shift our beliefs. I think we are meant to have things challenge our perception and, you know, how we think about things so we can expand, so we can grow, so we can reach new understandings. And if we were never challenged, you know, as far as what we believe, then we would always stay stagnant and complacent, and we would never be learning anything new, you know? And I'm so glad that my beliefs have been challenged because I'm telling you, like, even last year, I experienced a lot of, like, lack within myself. I was working through a lot of worthiness blocks, and, bro, the last year, you wouldn't even believe what I have had to do as far as like inner work and like facing my shit and facing my shadows and like digging everything up and digging into my inner child. And like, imagine if I never did that though. Imagine if nothing ever challenged my beliefs on anything. We would always be like stuck in the past because we would never be evolving in any way. We would have these like old beliefs that are from like the 1940s that don't even make sense for the time that we live in, right? Like, we're absolutely meant to be challenged within this reality, but just to show us what's actually possible. I think that being challenged and having our beliefs challenged and learning to see things differently tells us that we can do things differently, you know? That's what's powerful. Everything is always about expansion or learning or tweaking things or creating or playing in some way or helping others. And I think that we should be open to having our perception on reality challenged and our self challenged. So if you're wanting a challenge in this way, then yeah, I think dreaming would be good for you. It's such it's just amazing for self-growth. It truly is. And I mean, beyond self-growth, I never thought that I was going to be able to heal my stomach. I'm telling you guys, I was in the hospital constantly. I was on 8 medications. I had constant flare-ups and like attacks all of the time. I was coughing up blood. It literally felt like someone was stabbing me from the inside of my stomach, and it was just burning and stinging and so painful. I literally had to put pressure on my stomach with my hands all the time because it literally felt like I just got stabbed. I'm not even kidding. And every once in a while I'll feel like a little bit of like pain here and there if I like get stressed or something, but I'm telling you, it was like debilitating. I could not live before. The only thing I changed was developing more of a spiritual practice and doing my healing work within lucid dreaming. That's all I did. And if I can heal my physical body through the dream state, and my brain was able to see that as a real experience, which is why I had that healing, how would we not be able to reprogram our brain to, you know, get rid of fears or anxieties or negative habits, thought patterns, addictions, belief systems, like even PTSD? There have been studies of veterans with PTSD completely reversing their PTSD through working with their dreams. And Charlie Morley talks a ton about this because he works with a lot of veterans with PTSD in the dream states. And I'm telling you, we haven't even touched the surface of what's possible, right? And dreaming allows you to instantly get out of the 3D, the limited 3D world that tells you what is possible, what's fact, what's not. Throw it out of here. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Like, we are meant to experience another reality that's based off truth. So we can see the polarizing difference, right? So we can see how our beliefs and thoughts have been limited and now see what is possible through accessing the world of dream. Like, I know people that they're like, I don't know what I want to experience because I can't even visualize it. I can't even visualize my dreams coming true. I can't even visualize feeling happy or being in that place. But guess what the dream state allows you to do? Well, now you can experience it in a virtual reality created by your mind, and it'll be the most the most vivid, realistic VR game you've ever played. And luckily for you, you can experience it every single night. Yup. And even before lucid dreaming, your subconscious can still write you letters through your dreaming experiences, and you can still work on creating that connection with your dreams. I'm telling you, this state is so beautiful. And if other people try to discourage you from having these experiences, I personally wouldn't listen to them, because as far as warnings, these are the only warnings that you need to worry about when doing this work. No one's gonna hurt you. Nothing bad's gonna happen. You can't die if you die in a lucid dream. Like, all these dumb things, okay? And I'm telling you this because I have to hear those all the time. People are always either getting mad at me for a video I make or how I said something, or questioning what's truly possible within the lucid dream, or trying to bring it back to their limiting beliefs and be like, no, this is true. This is bad. We should not be doing this. And I just want you to suspend all disbelief, okay? Suspend all disbelief and try it out. I don't want to put any sort of idea in your mind that doesn't resonate. I want you to use your discernment and suspend all disbelief and just go for what you want. But I promise you, these are truly the only warnings that you need within this practice. And again, the warnings. In a lucid dream, you're entering your subconscious mind, and this will allow you to see what has been repressed. That's number one. Number two, harming dream characters could be doing you more harm. It actually probably is 100% doing you more harm. Number three, lucid dreaming opens a gateway for out-of-body experiences and sleep paralysis. And number four, your perception on reality and yourself may be challenged. So, take those into consideration, and I hope that it inspires you even more to have lucid dreams and out-of-body experiences. Also, tomorrow, the video I'm releasing is called 5 Ways to Lucid Dream. So I'm going to be giving you guys my 5 top techniques that I like to use for lucid dreaming. So stay tuned for that. I still have to edit the video. I have so much to do today still. So I will I will do my best to get that out early tomorrow. But I just wanted to give you a heads up of the video that's coming out as well. Okay. Let me I own a service mongoose. Okay, let's see. Don't mind me for a sec. I'm just reading through the comments looking for questions. Write a book, I dare it. You know, I'm working on a few things, Will. I am working on a book, but I'm also working on like a workbook that I think would be super cool. It's kind of like that dream journal workbook idea I told you about. And that's the thing with, I'm a double Leo. I like will come up with a million ideas at once and then try to do all of them at once and then get mad if I can't. Like, I've really had to learn how to like brace myself and to like take one thing at a time and learn what priorities are in my life and business so I don't feel overwhelmed. So yes, I am definitely working on that. Oh, you guys are so great. Thank you so much for being here. I used to suffer from panic attacks and anxiety when I talked to my friends and family about my panic attacks and anxiety. About my panic attacks and anxiety, but it's hard to get my family and friends to understand my panic attacks. I totally agree with you. Like, I had it all when I was a child, especially like 14 was probably one of the worst years of my life. Because number one, my home life at the time, and also just how I felt and the constant panic attacks, and like once it started, I couldn't get it to stop. I don't even know how to explain it to someone who's never had anxiety. But I totally get you. It was, and especially being told that like, oh stop, oh it's not that bad, you're delusional, you're doing it from attention, from people that have never even had a panic attack. I totally get that it's extremely like invalidating, for sure. Just know that you are absolutely supported. If you ever need anything, I am here, the community is here. And because I'm someone who has suffered a lot with anxiety, I have a lot of things that I could share with you on how to kind of help anxiety. Because I was definitely stuck, and I have history, if you must know, with being an avid overthinker, like unbearably, like horrible, constant overthinking. So I have some stuff that has helped me with that as well. But I get it. I get it. Thinking about those Karens bring me back to the point I was making earlier. Like, most of these people don't even want that for themselves. How can they tell you it's bad for you? This is why, guys, I just want you to explore on your own, and I would definitely have some sort of desire set for your lucid dream. What do you want to experience? Because again, the first thing that I had when I first started to learn how to induce them was to heal my stomach. That's all I could think about. I went to every medical center and hospital in like the state. I've tried everything, you know, and eventually I was like, you know, screw this. Like, there has to be something that I can do. I'm sick of giving my power away. I'm sick of other people, you know, in the medical field telling me what's possible, telling me that I'm going to suffer and that there's nothing that I can do. I chose not to accept that. And I'm so glad that I didn't accept that, because it allowed me to be open to the experiences that came through dreaming after, and that really changed my life. And it's amazing to look back and think, because I never thought that I was going to feel okay. I never thought that I was going to be able to live. It was like debilitating. I might as well have just lived in the hospital, I'm telling you. So this is like awesome to be able to like look back and think about like, holy shit, we did it. Like, wow. I asked one earlier, I'm having daily multiple bouts of vertigo. I doubt they are related, but could be. Related to what in particular? Your panic attacks or your anxiety? When we are in anxiety, by the way, in panic attacks, obviously we're in fight or flight, right? Most people know that we're in fight or flight. Our creativity gets shut off, our digestion gets shut off, a lot of the major organs get shut off when we're in anxiety, and that can cause a lot of issues for our physical body. And okay, know your dreams. I don't know if it's related. So how have your dreams been? Are you having consistent dreams? Are you having lucid dreams? Because I was gonna say, it could definitely be vertigo could definitely be related to the panic attacks and anxiety, is what I was gonna say, because it shuts down a lot of our major organs, a lot of our major processing systems. And I know that when I would get really panicky and stuff, I would feel really lightheaded. So I didn't know if it was related. You get your dreams while awake? Like, how is your, like, are you dreaming consistently every night? Oh, lucid dream very often. It could be related. That's interesting. I would work on it in the lucid dream. I actually worked with a client probably a year and a half ago who came to me for that specific thing, vertigo. And I was kind of thrown off because I didn't know that before a session, and I didn't know a lot about vertigo. And so I looked some stuff up for her, and I made her like this whole list of things that I thought that would help. But then we decided to kind of explore it within the lucid dream state, just by calling out to the subconscious mind, enacting the healing, and really just communicating with the subconscious mind. And I can't remember exactly what technique she did within the lucid dream, or if she tried multiple, but I remember her saying that it definitely helped after maybe one or 2 months of lucid dream, because she had it consistently every single day. So of course it probably took a little bit longer to actually see a result. So I would just play around within the lucid dream state. I'm telling you, if I can heal something that the doctor said was incurable, that was causing me so much pain throughout the day, I have no doubt that you'll be able to find relief from that. And if you have any questions, please let me know how I can help. I love your channel. I've been watching for a while. Keep up the good work. Shoop, thank you. I think you said that earlier and I missed it. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. It just seems to be the case. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Wow. Yeah, maybe explore that within the lucid dream and let me know, because I would definitely love to know, what you tried and, the results you got from it. Because again, I didn't really hear too much from the girl that I worked with on exactly what she did after we went through, what I put together for her as far as things online that I think would help vertigo. I don't know if that list helped her too much, but I remember once we started diving into the lucid dream, she did say that it massively improved after about 1 or 2 months. So I'd love to hear your experiments with that. And that's what this practice really is about, guys. It's about experimenting what works, what doesn't work, exploring what feels good and what doesn't, and just using it to optimize your life now, because you deserve to live a life of joy and freedom and abundance. You do, and it's your birthright too. And if there's any way that I can help with that, of course I'm gonna want to help with that. And I think it's funny that I decided to teach dreaming and just that content in general, because one thing that I found along the way that really resonates is helping others make their dreams come true. And that's why I always say I want to help you dream big and dream lucidly, because that has really been something that has really felt good to dive into, is not only just helping people dream, but teaching them or showing them how they can bring their wildest dreams into this waking reality and living a life that's guided by their dreams. So yeah, I love that so much. Of course, I love you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. So these are the main warnings or prerequisites that I recommend understanding before diving into the lucid dream, just so you're prepared, just so unnecessary fear doesn't come up and keep you away from these experiences. I'm sure that you have heard from some people that they had a lucid dream or a nightmare or something that scared them away from the experience, right? And they're like, nope, happened once, I don't even want to do it again. Nope, I got lucid for a second and woke myself up and I never want to touch it again. If we don't understand what's happening or the power behind these experiences, we could just let it slip from our fingers when it could be something that could drastically change our life or enhance our experience here on Earth. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about some of the things that you may experience, but that is nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to fear. I promise you. It's just the brain trying to stay in its program, and the brain has 3 jobs: to seek pleasure, reduce pain, and be efficient. And so when we have fears come up, when we're trying to implement new habits and we have resistance come up, it's just because our brain is trying to keep us operating with our program. But with consistency, exploration, then we can reprogram our brain to be open to new experiences. And when we're stepping out of our comfort zone in these experiences, or really anything in life, understand that you're not jumping off a cliff out of your comfort zone. You're expanding your comfort zone, right? That's the point of having a comfort zone, so we can expand it. Something that felt scary at first, right? And that was really you jumping out of your comfort zone. Now you feel comfortable with, because you expanded your comfort zone. And this reality is all about expanding, all about learning. I get it, Eric. Yep. Yes, Lyndon. You're really helping others so much. You're a godsend. Mr. Zoni, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. The vibrational state, that's a good one. So maybe I will make either a video on it or maybe my next live stream will be on the vibrational state. What do you guys think? What do you guys want to hear about next time? I know that I want to do, we did a breathwork session not too long ago. I think it was last week or the week before. What would you guys like to hear about on the next live stream? Because I definitely think the vibrational state is a good topic, and I definitely want to talk more about how to reach that, but also just all about that state, you know? There's so much to talk about with the vibrational state, so I would love to dive into that. How to induce it, the sensations that you'll feel when you're there, and how to turn it into either a lucid dream or an out-of-body experience once you're at that point. That's probably what I'd focus on for that topic. Thank you for recommending that. Great. Astral projection, we can just tie that in, honestly. Getting to rollover signal. This all goes perfectly. So, the vibrational state. So let me put rollover signal. The vibrational state. And astral projection. That will all tie in beautifully. Okay, maybe we'll talk about that on the upcoming live. It's gonna be a big topic. Great, okay. Thank you guys so much for the recommendations. We will probably talk about that in the next live. And then again, the video coming out tomorrow should be 5 ways to lucid dream. I also am going to be, so my sleep music, like my almost knocked over my microphone. So my new channel, the Lucid Mystic Sleep Music, that's going to be where like my black screen sleep music is, but I'm still going to be creating some interesting stuff like that on this main channel. I have a couple meditation sleep music tracks ready to go on this channel. One is a wake back to bed lucid dreaming track, so there's actually little alarms that go off during your later REM stages. I have a reality shifting subliminal message one that I have ready to go. I'll have to check because I've been working on a few, but if you're just interested in like the black screen binaural beats sleep music, then that channel is definitely where you want to go. And then this channel, I'm going to be experimenting a little bit with my sleep music. There'll still be longer tracks, but it will be like ones for certain techniques, or there'll be subliminals, and you know, it will just be something a little bit extra added on to it. Thank you, Zani. I actually, I just started my second YouTube channel not too long ago, and if we get to 1,000 subscribers by July 1st, then I'm going to be doing a 5-person giveaway on this channel to celebrate with you guys. So if you are interested in sleep music, then please consider subscribing to my new channel, because a lot of that will be there, and then on this channel it will be experimenting and exploring new topics and new ways to do things. So I'm kind of excited. Ooh, this sounds great. Do you know of any good alarms? For me, I personally use singing bowls on my phone. Like when I'm setting up my alarms, it will let me hook it up to Spotify, and then I can choose any song or whatever I want from Spotify. And so I typed in like Tibetan singing bowls or something, and so anytime my alarm goes off, it's like a super gentle like singing bowl that kind of gets louder. Sometimes it's just kind of plays anything from that playlist, but I use Tibetan singing bowls, so that's also the alarm that I put in the wake back to bed track that I'm going to be releasing, the wake back to bed sleep track. For the REM alarms, they're like little singing bowls, so it's not anything that's gonna like startle you. It's just meant to create a little bit of light conscious awareness, right? Thanks, guys. It totally could. So Greg, can a loud noise be that jerk that wakes you? So can you explain that to me a little bit? Because I had a question with I didn't know if you were referring to like the hypnotic jerk that like happens like when we're falling asleep and we like jolt awake, or if you're just talking about like being jerked awake from a loud noise that's happened. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's even, I just wanted to clarify before I answered you. But again, guys, oh, what? Is that your alarm or something? Maybe I'm confused. I'm gonna say it's, can you imagine like a full-on, Chance takes forever to wake up, and his dad recommended that he gets this really insane alarm. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It's a crazy alarm that's like super loud, has like a million different sounds, and it also like falls off the dresser, and you kind of have to chase it around. I was like, I sleep next to you, and I am an extremely light sleeper, and no, you're not getting that. Yeah, if that happens, that's actually if you're falling asleep and you notice that you kind of get jolted awake, that's called the myoclonic jerk, and that actually happens as a survival mechanism from when we used to sleep in trees. Our body would eventually dissociate and not be able to feel the surface that it was being supported by, and so it would send you a jolt to wake you up to make sure that you weren't falling out of a tree and falling to the ground. So that's actually something that is yeah, a nice little survival mechanism that we still get to experience today from our ancestors, so kind of cool. Horrible. I'm never, no, he already has his alarm so loud, like, because he obviously goes to work right now, and he'll have like our really really loud alarm on that he has to like get up and turn off, and then he'll have like 10 alarms go off. He also has Spotify on his alarms, but his is just like metal music that plays, which I like a lot of. We like a lot of the same stuff, so I'm like, all right. Sure. Plus, it's kind of like my little, okay, wake up and go back into the hypnopompic state, so we make it work, you know? Yeah, we make it work. Greg, you're the best. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So good to see you, Greg. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Jason, Eric, Lyndon, Chris, Maida, like Kevin, Zani, everyone. I just love you guys so much, and I appreciate you for hanging out with me. So again, we usually go live Mondays at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, but I was really sick yesterday, and I woke up at like 3:30 p.m. and I was supposed to stream at 5, and like I just felt like a mess. I looked like a mess. Like I just wanted to be able to give you guys my full attention and it not be like a super short live, because I know that I go live once a week right now, and I didn't want to like cut it short, so I just decided to move it to today so we could have like a full like hangout together. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Again, if you want like updates on new content coming out or the live stream, then make sure to join the Telegram group. And if you are a Patreon supporter, you actually get to choose the content that I make, and I run a lot of polls on there, and you get content released to you before the public on Patreon as well, just to name a couple benefits. I recently redid my Patreon perks, so if you're interested in supporting the channel in that way, then you know I have a Patreon for that. I will be getting my memberships back very soon. I reapply tomorrow for my YouTube memberships, so we will see how that goes. Yeah, and then of course, if you guys are interested in working with me, or I have online courses, I have one-on-one mentorships where you and I can work together, and then I also have different classes that I run, like the 11-part masterclass series I've been running for the last year, and I'm about to come up with a new one for astral projection. This one was all based on dreaming and guiding you guys through the journey of dreaming, and this next one is going to be all about deeper practices within the dream state, like dream yoga, as well as out-of-body experiences. So gonna be super super cool. Gonna run that for the next year, and then that's not fully out yet, but I wanted to let you guys know about it. And then if you are interested in reality shifting and all of that good stuff, and literally collapsing time and shifting your consciousness into your ideal reality to allow your circumstances and your physical reality to follow that shift. So if you want to create more abundance, if you want to feel more fulfillment, more joy, you want to be more creative, and you want to step into the reality that you know that you are meant to experience, and if you desire it, you are meant to experience it, then I invite you to my 4-week mastermind. Again, it is just $222 right now. It's going to go all the way up to $555. It's going to be each price for 2 weeks. So for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be at $222. And again, you have the Telegram group coaching chat that we'll be able to connect with in there for the next 4 weeks. We'll have weekly classes, we'll have weekly guided meditations, we'll have a holotropic breathwork session, we'll have a dream circle on Zoom together, and there will be lots of different challenges we'll all be implementing over the next 4 weeks. And this is really, I called it the shift because that is what this is all about, is creating a radical shift in your life to receive all that you desire because you're meant for it. So if you guys have questions on how to join that, you can just send me an email or you can just message me on any platform. I am best at getting back to Facebook messages. Instagram, I'm okay. I'm working on it. But I have a few different ways to get in touch with me, but probably the easiest ways would be Facebook or just shoot me an email and I'll get you the information there. But yeah. Okay guys, I love you so much. Thanks again for joining in this video. Stay tuned for the content coming out on my main channel as well as the second channel, and please feel free to subscribe if you like the content on my second channel. And again, if we get to 1,000 subscribers by July, then I will do a 5-part giveaway, which is even bigger than the last giveaway I did, and I'm very, very excited. So anyways, your spirit is amazing. I'm so happy I found you. I will join a class or something soon. Thank you so much. No worries. Thank you guys for being here, and thanks to my mods for regulating the chat, keeping everything in line. I love you guys. Alright guys, see you later. I hope you have the most magical day ever. I will see you next week, and as always, I'm sending you endless love and endless lucidity. Thanks for being here, guys.